guys, thanks for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates as soon as I post them. So I'm the owner of a 2000 Tommi Makinen Edition Evo 6 in white. I've owned the car since about 2018, late 2018 is when I got it. And the story about getting that car is a pretty funny one. I never thought that something like this would happen to me necessarily, but back in late 2018, I was buying a lot of cars, in particularly a lot of right-hand drive Mitsubishi Evolutions, which is the cars that I really like. And so around that time, I used a Canadian company called Kijiji to look at ads, and I also used to look at Craigslist quite a bit. So Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada uses Craigslist quite a bit for automotive things. And so one day I was on Craigslist and I saw an ad for a Mitsubishi Evolution, and it was called a TME, which a lot of people use for the Tommi Makinen Edition Evo. And so now the ad was pretty detailed. It didn't exactly look like a scam. However, the car in the picture did not appear to be Tommi Makinen Edition Evo 6. It was a blue car, and it looked like Mitsubishi Remus blue, and so I knew that the Tommi Makinen cars never came in that color. And then further to that, it had a Evo 5 bumper on it, and it had no spoiler. And so I looked at the car, and there was photos of the interior, and the interior did in fact have the Tommi Makinen Edition monogram seats. And so I looked at it a bit more, and I after looking at the pictures pretty thoroughly, I noticed that the wheels were the Tommi Makinen Edition Enki wheels, but they were painted black, and I couldn't see stickers on them or anything, the Rally Art stickers, nothing like that. So $11,000 Canadian is about $8,000 American. So this is extremely cheap car, especially nowadays, for what it is. You certainly can't pick up a Japanese domestic market issued one of 3,020 made Tommi Makinen Edition in any condition for $8,000 these days. So at the time, this was still an extremely low price. Even in late 2018, the cars had started to take off in value, starting with the red ones especially, but the white and blue and black and silver were going up in price as well. So I had given the guy a call and asked him if I could see the VIN, which he was fine. And so the VIN actually had the 020 prefix that is denotes it as a Tommi Makinen Edition car. And so looking at the car, it appeared that what had happened is that in Japan, for whatever reason, the Japanese owner had decided to repaint the car. And not only did they repaint the car, they got rid of the Tommi Makinen Edition bumper and they put on an Evo 5 bumper. The Evo 5 bumper was in great shape. So the car was taken care of. The owner in British Columbia did say that there were some issues. The AYC wasn't working, there were some leaks, but all I was really concerned about was rust and whether some of the Tommi Makinen Edition components were there, like the dash cluster. Was the block coated to the vehicle, which it was. So after figuring out a few of these things, I just jumped on a plane and went out there. I bought the car for $11,000 Canadian, and drove it back, which was to my place, which was 700 miles from where I picked it up. It was a long drive. The diff howled the entire way. The AYC diff was absolutely destroyed. But I made it all the way back home, and I've had the car now for probably a little bit over 3 years. And I've worked on it quite a bit and changed it back to its original color. I've done a lot to the car to turn it back to what it's supposed to look like. Now, during the time of owning the car, a lot of things had to be repaired. The AYC wasn't working. There were ABS sensor faults. I found out that the AYC had actually been unplugged, that it was so problematic, and the entire rear differential was cracked. The aluminum case was cracked, and it was siliconed almost everywhere, just to sort of hold some of the fluids in. There was no reason for me to rebuild that diff. I had, around that time, late 2018, AYC diffs were available in Canada here, used, and so I had a known good one, and so that's what I decided to put into the car. While the diff was out, I decided to do bushings, and then I began the process of getting the car repainted, which was extremely involved because other than the engine bay, they had done a complete color change in Japan. Door jambs, under the hood, under the trunk, everything was painted that really vibrant blue color, and so that was a lot of work to get that repainted. So the entire car had to come apart. Even the insides of the doors were painted. So the car had to be completely torn down so that we could kind of get rid of that blue color. And then further to that, while I was waiting to get stickers and some other things for the Tommi Makinen edition wheels, I ran a different set of wheels, some RS Watanabes, which are a weird choice for this car, but I thought they looked fairly good at the time. And but eventually I went back to the Anki wheels, and the Anki wheels are spaced out on 15 millimeter spacers, and they look pretty great, I think.
So I'm out in my shop heavily pondering my wheel choice this morning. So on my Evo TME, I used to have some Watanabe RS wheels, which are a weird choice for an Evo, yes, I guess so. However, they had come up for sale in Japan. Someone had ordered a 17 by 8.5 spec, which is really good for the Evo 5 and 6. And I saw them for sale at a used shop in Japan, and I bought them because buying that same spec from the factory would take forever to get, and they were a really good deal, so I got them. So I ran Watanabe RS wheels on the Evo last year. At the time, I didn't have the original wheels. I did have the original wheels, but I didn't have them refinished. So when I bought the car, the original wheels were powder coated black, and I didn't want that. And as well, I needed a good set of Tommi Makinen wheels so that I could basically get a good idea of what the pearl effect looks like. So these wheels, it's going to be next to impossible to see the pearl effect over a GoPro, but basically they are not just straight white. They have a very slight pearl to them. And that pearl is like a green kind of like green silver, green purple kind of pearl effect on it. Very, very slight. So I knew they had a pearl effect, but I couldn't figure out what color it was. Eventually what happened is I bought a car that had an original set of TME wheels on it, and the TME wheels had the original finish on it, so I was able to get it matched. So now I have the TME wheels on the car. I do think they look really good. However, now probably what I should go over is a little bit of the spec here. So on my my Watanabe wheels, these are 17 by 8.5. Now I'm going to the TME wheels, which are a 17 by 7.5, so I'm losing an inch. So now, because the spokes on the RS Watanabes didn't have enough clearance for the Brembo brakes, I had to use spacers. And the spacers were plus 15 millimeters. They're a bit hard to see, but they're in there. And so when you push a wheel out plus 15 millimeters, what happens is the lug nut has minus 15 millimeters engagement, so it becomes a bit dangerous in my opinion. So what I did was I put in extended studs, wheel studs, and that accommodated that plus 15. Now, as well with the plus 15, I used a hub-centric spacer, so it actually had a lip machined into the spacer to hold the hub. And so with all that together, the longer studs, the hub-centric spacer, and the proper lug nuts, I feel like it's a safe setup. And as well, going to a 7.5-inch wide wheel, I didn't want them to be sucked in. And so I think it turned out really well. Just looking from the side here, it's not, it's pretty flush with the rest of the body of the car. And so also there's a little bit of camber, which I like. So now the other thing I was able to find hunting around is the proper shank type wheel nut. So if you take a look here, so now what I got with this is that this is a Toyota truck nut, and so it's still the washer style, still has the shank, but in addition it has a longer body because it's meant for a truck. So what that does is that allows me to accommodate that larger stud that had to be put on here. And so I went with the stock washer style nut. You do not want to use an acorn style nut with these. That's actually fairly dangerous. I know people, some people online do it. You're just asking for something to happen. Something bad to happen, because the engagement just would be almost nothing. So yeah, so I went with the stock style nut. And now the other thing, these wheels were redone. I did get new stickers, and just so you can see, this is the proper orientation of the stickers. I've seen people mess this up, but basically your valve stem is what splits the plane here, and then on either spoke you're meant to have the sticker. So I've come across now probably 4 sets of these wheels. I've owned a couple sets myself, and that seems to be consistent, is the placing of the stickers related to the valve stem. So I just reproduced that. And that's it. That's what we got right now. So this is going to be the summer setup. And the RS Watanabes I'm just going to put away for now.
All right, thanks for watching today. Please check out my Instagram account at Wrench Rampage, and please come back and visit us here for more information on the Tommi Mac. We're going to be continuing with that next episode.